So I decided to go back in time a little bit to a scene in season 1 where Eleven is battling a Demogorgon in a classroom situation. I started this tempera painting by using a custom turquoise blue and then sticking strictly to values of that blue, using only white and black and mixing that with the color to block in all these different areas in the background. When I'm doing this, really my main concern is to get that paper covered up and get a nice base coat. Not really worrying about detail, not being too refined about anything, but essentially just trying to get the areas I want dark, dark, and the areas I want light, light. Getting a good base coat gives you a good base that you can later use and re-wet for some blending and things like that. Although blending is a technique that works best when you are applying the paint and when it is wet. Oh god, her head looks a little scary. No worries, I'm going to worry about that a little later. So right now I'm actually essentially focusing on the light and shadow aspects of this scene right here. Just trying to capture where that light might hit and where those shadows might occur on both Eleven and the Demogorgon. So at this point I'm actually using a watered down black, getting some transparency effects and then trying to blend it into some of the blues just to bring a little bit more contrast and clean up some of those edges. Now I'm taking a moment here with the pencil just to scan through the painting, making some corrections and refining the shape of her head, as well as laying out some detail in the background. So at this point right now, I'm really doing some refinement, almost like an outlining of sorts, but I know in the future I'm going to use some water and some browns to do a little bit more blending and soften up some of the intensity of those darker tones. So at this point I'm essentially using a clean brush and some clean water to soften some of these shadows and highlights. I focus too much on the background, keeping the focus and attention on the two characters. At this point I'm using some dry brushing techniques to bring some texture into the Demogorgon and also Eleven's hair. I'm also refining some of the shadows and shapes and structure of her face so it looks a little bit more like her. And finally bringing in some of that pink fleshy tones on the Demogorgon's scary mouth. At this point I decided to switch over here to some pastel pencils, which I'm going to use for some detail in the back. Being a teacher myself, I couldn't ignore these parts in the background here where we have our photosynthesis poster and our table of periodical elements. Now finally all those little spiky spikes in that Demogorgon's face, mouth / whatever it is, flower face. I'm also using this white charcoal and white pastel pencil to add a little intensity to those highlights, knowing that I can soften those up with a smudge stick and a napkin or tissue. Some last finishing touches. I think we're almost there. Just a few more little touch-ups and detail, a couple highlight glares. Then at the last minute I decided to do some glow effects here with the white pastel pencil. Just trying to illustrate some of the intensity of Eleven's power. Ooh, whoops, got to put a little blood coming out of it here. That's what happens. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.